I noticed this when I was tattooing you, but we have the same skin,
Yeah.
and I think we have great skin. You can tell you're not bleeding, like
No.
at all. There's like no blood.
That's
nothing.
crazy, isn't it?
And barely any redness.
Oh gosh.
We have perfect tattoo skin, Micah.
That is going to be so different when I tattoo my friends.
Yes.
Because I know one of my friends, I won't name him on the channel, but he bleeds like fuck.
Well.
Alright, so about 2, maybe 3 hours later, including the design, it's finally done. I'm extremely pleased with it, actually. I've learned a lot from it. That's the main part. Your first tattoo is just a memory. It's just a way to learn, but, could be worse.
Woohoo! I think you did great.
And it's my own design as well, which I didn't expect. I was just like, let's just do it on the day. Let's do it live. And that's what I did. So, yeah. Good morning. So, I am still in the Netherlands, as you might be able to tell. But I'm in a park near my dad's apartment. And quite a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks, because I've been working hard on my new van, getting everything fixed up for my journey coming up to the UK. Very excited. I'm actually sailing on Thursday. So, yeah, I've not had a lot of time to vlog because of that reason, because, yeah, just been busy. Getting everything sorted. And in the meantime, today is the 27th of April in the Netherlands, which is marked by King's Day, which is a celebration, obviously, of the King's birthday. And it's been like a national celebration. It used to be called Queen's Day, because obviously we used to have a queen, and it was quite popular as a celebration of kind of Dutch, nationality. It's a bit of a national day. I can't exactly say I'm very, pro royalty or anything like that, so I don't think a lot of people are. But most people see it as like an excuse to just have fun and, have a little celebration with music and stuff like that.
Van mij is je gitaar maar slecht.
Zo.
Oh, moet opnemen.
Ja. Nee, is goed. Ja, wel. Leuk. Hello. So, as you may notice straight away, I'm in a different vehicle from my poor little Opel Movano, which I've sold. And because my last video on this channel was me selling the wee blue snail, and now I've moved into my new van, which I found only pretty much a week after I sold my old van. So I'm actually filming this from the harbour of the Hook of Holland, which is the ferry heading to the UK. So I've had a very, very busy month, like getting everything sorted and preparing for this journey. So I haven't really had much time to do much vlogging in the meantime. Well, it's been, it's been many, many years since I've been to the last King's Day, because I'm always abroad around this time of year. This is actually the first April I've been back in the Netherlands for quite a long time. I've either been like Portugal or France or even the UK at the beginning of spring. And this is actually the earliest I'm going back to the UK as well, because I do spend quite a lot of time in the UK, generally speaking. And this is the earliest I'm going back, because I'll be spending the whole summer there. So the last, since I've started this channel, it's mostly been me filming in Spain, which is just because that's where I spend the winter, right? And it's actually, I knew it was going to be the last season for me spending with the wee blue snail, and I just thought, like, I never really thought about vlogging or anything. I'm just doing this for myself. I'm just having fun chatting to the camera and whatnot. And I just thought, might as well document the last couple of months I'm spending with the snail and all the things that I see. Because for me, this life isn't necessarily new anymore, right? So I'm kind of settled into this way of life. But Buying a proper camper van now as well, it's a very different experience because it's not a converted van. It's quite different. It drives the same roughly, so it's not that different in terms of the vehicle, but it's just the fact that there's many other things you have to think about. So I'm heading to Harwich with the ferry, which is I've sailed a couple of times that way, so I'm quite familiar with the route. So I'm very, very excited to finally be leaving again, and it's all happening. It's got a little bit of those nerves going on, a little bit of the jitters. Nothing bad. It's just the fact that I'm in a new vehicle, new home on wheels. Getting kind of used to it. So in the meantime, I'm not gonna do like the whole tour thing, but I still want to show everyone a little bit of my new living arrangement. Well, first of all, look at that beautiful view. That's the harbour. And it's just absolutely gorgeous weather at the moment. Like, I couldn't have had a better day for sailing. This is the cab. Obviously super simple, but it's actually a lot more luxury than my old van had. And there's a lot more knobs and fiddles and things like that. And it's really funny. The horn is on the wheel, which is usual. That's quite common with most vehicles. Not on my old Snail. My old Snail had the horn on the stalk end. You had to press a button down there. So I was used to leaning on the wheel as like kind of a thing that I do, and I was just like, every time I do that, I honk the horn, and it just fucking scares me. So I just have to remind myself not to do that. So as you can see, it's a Fiat Ducato model, a very, very common build for camper vans. It's a Mark II, loads of spare parts if I ever need them across Europe. You see the gear shifts on the dashboard as well, which means you have no control panel on the side. You don't have to step over anything. They thought about everything. So yeah, there's one chair, 2 passengers, but in the back, there's more belts down there. So I can actually take 6 people together. 2 here, 2 there. So it's actually a massive camper van just for one person. And it's still very compact, it's only 5 meters long, 5.5. And it's not that much bigger than my old van, but it's just so much more cleverly built, Like you got the overcab bed up here, so it's nice tucked out of the way. Doesn't take that much space, and then you got this whole living arrangement of you can just leave the table up, you can just do your thing, nothing in the way. And look how much space I have to walk around. Fridge, loads of cupboards, and most of these cupboards aren't even like full, like I don't actually take that much stuff with me. Very minimal, so I'm gonna keep it nice and airy, nice and light. I'm not packing for a whole family. So I'm sure you can tell I'm very excited and looking forward to the next chapter with this vehicle. And just gonna meander north and spend the whole summer in the UK. Just enjoying my time with friends, family, sunshine, hopefully. Not too much rain, I'm hoping. But anyway, I'm gonna enjoy the weather. Look at this beautiful view. Well, it's the harbour of Rotterdam. Big, massive shipping area. Good morning. So that was my first night in my van away from home, which I've slept in my van for about a week on my brother's driveway because my mum was over and didn't have enough guest rooms. So I've already slept up in the bed and the fresh new mattress I bought for it. Perfect, sleeps really well. But this is the first night I've actually been out on the road again with my new van and sleeping in it. So everything is a first, right? And it's been absolutely lovely. Slept all the way through the night. When I got off the ferry, I drove only about half an hour north to Ipswich because it was getting dark, and I forgot, because obviously you go back in time for an hour. The sun also sets an hour early from what I'm used to in the Netherlands. So I pulled over a nice little place just by the side of the road, really. So it's a bit noisy, but it's perfect for just a quick nap, and I'll be on my way again. And I got up and had some breakfast, have my tea now, and just getting ready to drive off again. And this new van obviously needs, every time you stop and start with a van, you need to take stuff out, do stuff in the van. You have to make sure that everything's battened down, of course, before you start driving. And there's a lot more to think about with a coach built as opposed to my old, my old bus camper. Because the old bus camper, you just shove everything in a cupboard and it'd be fine. Because most of the cupboards, they flip down, like the ones up there. So they stay closed while driving, but these cupboards, they all have the push buttons. So and fridge as well, you have to make sure everything's closed. And so I have to go around, do all the checks before setting off. I'm sure I'll get into like a rhythm of it eventually. There's quite a lot of things actually that I'll probably be using later more than now. Like, for example, I've got this fridge, but I'm actually probably not going to use it as a fridge for quite a while. Also because it runs on gas, and gas is scarce in the UK at the moment. Well, what I mean is my gas bottles, I have specific like European connections. Oh my god, last week was an absolute, or the week before, was an absolute nightmare of me trying to figure out how the system works. It's very complicated. Like, gas bottles are not universal whatsoever. It boggles the mind how some things are universalized and other things aren't. Like, for example, my tattoo machine, it takes any cartridge that you buy, like the needle cartridges. They're universal. They fit in any machine. Any brand fits with any other brand. It's something that they did right from the start, I guess. But with gas bottles, you got like DIN gas bottles and POL and all these connections and the threads, and oh my gosh, cooking doesn't use very much. Like for example, these bottles, they contain about 220 grams of butane, which so that's basically, well, if it's 250, it's like 24 bottles in a full gas tank that I've got with me. And in Spain, for cooking, these would last me about 4 or 5 days. So you can do the math. You can do a couple of months just cooking on a gas bottle. This is my attitude to the way I've been living in the last 6 years. I just deal with issues or challenges, I'd rather say. I deal with challenges as they come. And I do like to think ahead a bit, so once the challenge occurs, I have the knowledge to try and do it. But I try to be on top of things. Same with this vehicle. The ball joints need checked up. So next week I've got an appointment at the garage to try and figure out what kind of repairs it needs. It's still a 21-year-old van now. Which is opposed to my old van, which was 5 years older, is not that much of a difference, really, is it? But finding anything from like 2010 onwards, you just the market is not there at the moment. I mean, the market is there, but obviously you got to have quite a bit of dosh to be able to pay for any of the kind of that stuff. So I'm not that rich, unfortunately. So I saved up pretty hard for this van, and it's already giving me a lot more than my old van. So we'll see how many years I can squeeze out of this one. Hopefully, if I can get this van, if I live in this for another 6 years, I'll be 40 years old, which is pretty mind-blowing to me because I can't even remember turning 30. Well, I did. It's just I don't think about age at all. But it's just funny to think about the relationship between the things that I've done, and 6 years is an incredible time with the wee blue snail. Like, I've done so much. I can't even, like, my brain, if I think about all the stories I've gone through, all the things that I've seen and experienced, I could write a book about it, several probably. So next 6 years is not 6 years, it's 6 years. It's a long time. There's a lot to do, lots of fun things to experience, and I really hope that this fan will be there with me to experience it. There's a couple of things I want to get rid of, like this big old TV behind me. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to use it. I mean, my laptop screen's bigger than that, and it's connected to a dish on the roof. And I don't actually know if there's any terrestrial channels left in Europe. Maybe in the east of Europe, I don't know, but I'm never gonna watch it. Even if you pick up a signal, I'm not gonna understand it, am I? I'm just gonna watch Albanian television or something like that. Oh my god, can you imagine? So it's a couple of days later, and I'm staying in the house of my family, having a good time, catching up with everyone. And yeah, I've just been enjoying the garden and sunshine currently. Look at this beautiful apple tree blossoming. And yeah, it's a bit of rain, bit of sun, but it's lovely. And right behind our house, there's this trail called the Leicester Round, which goes all the way around the perimeter of the county of Leicester. It's pretty cool. So they have people walking by the side of their fence occasionally, and I just thought I'd have a little exploration and see, you know, where the trail leads. So since this is a new place that my family is staying, I've never actually been in this part of Leicester before, so it's really nice to explore a new area. I've become quite familiar with the fields behind the old house because I actually walked those for one of my first vlogs when I first got this camera. Thought I'd test it out, you know, go around, and that's where I tested it. So it's always lovely to walk in the countryside in England. You get lots of these beautiful trails that you can walk on, all freely accessible. Yeah, down in England there's not like a universal right of way as there is in Scotland. So you kind of got to pick and mix your trails, the ones that are allowed to be footpaths. But luckily they're fairly common, and it's so much easier to cross the countryside because a lot of these roads are pretty treacherous. Lots of high hedges that you can't really see around. So with oncoming traffic, my family used to live in a village that actually was on a road where you couldn't really get or walk anywhere without walking on the main road or on the car road, and that was pretty scary a couple of times. So you really have to listen out, make sure you're paying attention. So just like this, these are the kind of country roads. I mean, they're wide enough, but obviously can't see around the corner. It's all the hedgerows. So this is supposed to be the Leicester Round. It's a fence. Normally they're open, so we can find the attachment point. There we go. They all have their own user manual how to open them. So there's like a little latch. So lift it up a bit. Yeah, the Leicester Round, I actually did consider doing that at some point because it takes about 4 or 5 days, maybe a week, to walk the entire round of Leicester, and it basically runs along the entire perimeter of the county. It's pretty cool. Unfortunately, you obviously have to find a place to sleep, and yeah, I'm not sure if I'll dare to do that in England, but in Scotland it's a bit easier. Because that's what I did when I first got to Scotland, was my cycling trip around the country. I basically, you know, I picked Scotland for cycling because you can camp anywhere you like. It's much easier to just relax, not have to worry about where you're spending the night, or having to get from hostel to hostel and pay a lot of money to, you know, do what you do. So to keep things cheap, you know, and only occasionally use a campsite whenever you need a warm shower, and you know, mostly camp out there in the wild, and occasionally find a nice bothy where you can spend the night in a creepy little hut. You know, you're never quite sure if anyone else is going to arrive, but most of the time I was alone, so whatever. And yeah, it's I'm wearing a t-shirt right now, but you know, it's been a bit fresh lately. The weather is weird because when I arrived, the day after I arrived, it was quite a warm day. It was maybe 20-25 degrees. And everyone, of course, complaining about how hot it is. And I'm just like sitting there like, yeah, this is Spanish weather. This is what I'm used to. This is what I want. Now it's gone back down. But yeah, we'll see. I'll just have to get adjusted again because you know, in a couple of weeks I'll be going up to Scotland, and that's definitely going to be, you know, lagging behind in the summer department. It's going to take a while for summer to arrive, but I'm confident that this year will be a good one. We'll just have to wait and see. I've been working in my family's garden because they were digging up like lots of areas for planting vegetables. Most of the garden was grass, but you don't really, you know, grass is not great, especially with the changing climate and the hotter summers, and it's a very thirsty plant for pretty much no reason other than aesthetics. So yeah, I'm making way for vegetables. So I was digging up the dirt, you know, was turning over the grass and removing it and trying to get as much soil off as possible. It was lovely seeing all the earthworms, you know, crawling about, and just getting your hands in, you know, doing some manual labour. It's good for the soul sometimes. And today we went to the garden centre and get ourselves some netting, because the netting is like, you know, quite important to protect the, especially things like broccoli. They'll get absolutely annihilated by caterpillars if you leave it. As all the cows are looking at me. What the hell are you doing talking to a camera lady? Look at me from far away, miles away from you guys. So that's the next town over on the horizon. Guess I'll just keep walking. Yeah, it's great being back in the UK. It's only been since October that I left last time, and even so it feels like eons ago. Yeah, it's a very strange time where time seems to move fast and slow simultaneously, and I kind of like that feeling, because it gives me, you know, it makes my life feel a lot more rich on the one hand, and on the other hand, you know, things are happening and approaching and changing a lot quicker, because it's also coming pretty close now to the point where I'm going to be tattooing other people. So it's only been less than a week since I've started tattooing on myself. So I made my first tattoo on my ankle, and yeah, that was quite the experience. It was really fun. So I went to see my sister in the city she lives, because she's a professional artist, and she basically guided me to make my first tattoo myself, you know, make sure I didn't mess up any of the important aspects of like hygiene and, you know, all the procedures you have to follow. And yeah, under her guidance, I managed to get a feel for real skin, and it's been really cool to figure out that it feels obviously different, but easier in a way, because the fake skin I've been working on is a lot more sensitive. So if you can tattoo well on that, you're pretty close to, you know, good on real skin, because you have to push quite a bit harder than expected to really get through to the right layer. And obviously that would be different for somebody with thin skin. So for my skin being quite, you know, sturdy, I guess, you know, you put quite a bit of pressure on there. So yeah, I bought this little camera last time I was in the UK. And I actually did a couple of test vlogs while I was here, you know, walking fields behind the old house my family lived in. You know, my vlogging isn't quite as maybe spectacular as some people's, where I don't really, you know, jump about between locations very much. Don't go traveling about in Europe at breakneck speed, and just living my life and documenting it as it is. And which means that there'll probably be long stretches of me and being in a particular area. Good morning. So it's about 2 weeks later since the last bit I filmed, and yeah, I've been staying with my family here in Leicestershire for that time, and I haven't actually done a lot of filming because I've mostly been like relaxing and also focusing, like really honing in on my tattooing skills, because, you know, the moment of tattooing on people is coming closer. So I've just been banging out practice every single day, and it's actually really fun. I ordered some more real skins because the fake skins that I had ran out, and I had to order more, and I decided to order like these big A3 sheets rather than the A4 ones, so I could just keep working on them. I've also tattooed myself for the second time on my other leg, this time my left one, and it was definitely awkward because getting the angle right when you're left-handed and working your left side of your body is a bit more, you know, you have to stretch the skin in different ways. So yeah, that's been really fun. Honestly, it's just been a very relaxing 2 weeks. I've not been taking on any work, so just focusing on being here and enjoying the garden as well. Like you can see the giant compost heap behind me. This is from the garden bed that I've been kind of digging out, because my family's building a nice little vegetable patch here. Right in front of me, you can see onions, leeks. There's going to be beets. There's going to be spring onion, like lots. This is all alliums. And down there you got the lettuces, and you have gooseberries and currants. And back there is going to be like beans and corn, and in the nets is brassicas. So you know your cabbages and broccoli and cauliflower. And yeah, I've just mostly been digging out the dirt and stuff in preparation for planting stuff, because the season is near that things need to be planted in order to, you know, come to fruition later in the summer. Not that I'm going to reap any of the benefits, because I probably won't be here, but you know, it's still very nice to just work in the garden and also be able to be helpful, you know, to help family out with stuff that they might not be able to do because they're getting a bit older and things hurt. And I'm young and sprightly and I can still do that stuff without my back hurting too bad in the morning. Anyway, I've just been having an absolutely amazing time here, and I'm heading off to Scotland tomorrow. So this is my last day here actually, and I think we're planning to do a little pizza night as a celebration, or just a thing for me going away again, you know. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a bit rainier in the last couple of days, and it's actually a surprisingly cool spring so far. Like the weather's definitely been under 15 degrees almost every day. And yeah, that's pretty chilly for this time of the year, especially down here in England. I mean, maybe the average is up in Scotland, because Scotland hardly ever gets days above like 20 degrees, even in summer. Yeah, I think last year was just really unusual and dry, and I get that now, but I'm still hoping for it, because I you know, me being used to the Spanish weather, my gosh. But yeah, my friend's mum, she was off to Crete for a couple of weeks, and I've been looking at Crete and it's looking pretty wonderful. Might be a good option for me to take my van come winter, so you know, thinking about it. Think about island hopping in Greece, something like that. No solid plans yet, just vague directions. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed this kind of low-key video of me just exploring my new van and traveling about. And yeah, not too much new at the minute, just gonna have a really amazing summer, I think. So my next couple of vlogs are probably gonna be somewhere completely different, maybe a slightly different format, I have no idea. I'm just gonna go with the flow and enjoy what I do, you know, I'm just documenting what I do. There's an apple tree above me. All the blossoms gone now, but it will be full of apples when I return, because I'm definitely planning to return to this spot, to my family's home, in about August, September. So the garden will be completely different again. So yeah, I'll be back here with my compost in about September time. Say goodbye to the compost.